Hi, welcome to Economics/EEP C181, also known as International Trade. So in today's video, I'm going to introduce myself and start by going over the section syllabus. And in this video, what I want to do is I want to highlight some of what we're going to do in section, some of the rules outlined in the syllabus, and then also go through how to get in contact with us and the rules therein. So I strongly encourage you to watch this video, or at the very least, take a read through the section syllabus, as it has some important information that you'll want to know about how sections are structured. So my name is James Sayer. I'm one of the GSIs for the course. If you didn't meet me in lecture this last week, I am a fifth-year student in the Agriculture and Resource Economics PhD program, and I study international trade and development. So I'm very interested in international trade. And so if you ever have questions about sort of interesting topics in international trade, I'm more than happy to discuss them with you during my office hours. This is my fifth time teaching the course. So along the way, I've gathered some experience seeing where there are some common stumbling blocks for students with the course material, as long as where I can go a little bit faster, where students seem to get the material as well. So as we go along, especially in the syllabus, but also in the class, I'll try to highlight places where I feel that you should try to really make sure that you can spend some time really trying to understand. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to come easy. So whenever I stress something in the course material that's a little bit harder, it's so that you can know what to really study on. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always come to office hours and ask me questions about that. So let's jump into the course syllabus. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share that on the screen, and then we'll go through it one by one. So hopefully you can see the course syllabus. If not, it's posted on B Courses, so you should be able to see it there. Excuse me. I am one of 3 GSIs for this course. The other GSIs are Yang and Ipe. Their emails are listed here, and we've tried to spread out our office hours throughout the week so that you should always have an office hour time that you're able to attend. What we're going to try to do for office hours is we're going to try to use a platform called Gather. So Gather is sort of an interesting, sort of quirky tool which aims to emulate office hours a little bit. And I'll talk a little bit more about it later, but all 3 of us for our office hours will share the same Gather link. And so if you want to go to our Gather space, you're free to use the URL link below. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to it. But what I want to emphasize is that sections, what's the point of sections? Why do we have them? So the point of having sections is that what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working through problems similar to those that will be covered in assignments, lectures, and exams. And I think in particular, we're really going to try to give you the opportunity to emphasize the intuition behind the theory presented in class, and also just give you opportunities to work with problems that are going to be very, very similar to what you're going to see on exams. So in particular, I think that this is really section is really a great opportunity, and you should really make advantage of it. I know that you don't have to necessarily, there's no participation credit associated with sections and things like that, primarily because they're asynchronous. But really, truly, I just want to hammer in that section is one of the best places to sort of hone material that's similar to what's going to be seen on the exam. So you really should make advantage of it. We're going to have synchronous lectures via Zoom on Thursdays. And the times that we've decided on is that they're going to be Thursdays 5 to 6 p.m. and Thursdays 9 to 10 p.m. And additionally, what we'll do is, and if you're reading this, you've already seen it, sorry, if you're seeing this, you already know that we're going to post shorter asynchronous lectures, which we're going to call capsules, that you're going to be expected to view ahead of the Thursday lectures. So obviously, if you're seeing this, you sort of already know the deal. And if you can't attend our synchronous lectures, they're going to be recorded and posted afterwards. So if you can't make the time, obviously, if there's too many students that can't make the time, we'll consider changing the times. But if there's, if you can't see it because of sort of other conflicts that you might have, they'll be recorded. So I encourage you, even if you can't show up asynchronously, to view them asynchronously. And then all of the other section lecture notes, solutions, things of that nature are going to be posted on B-Courses. You're going to be able to find the section videos under the media gallery, but again, if you're viewing this video, you've already seen it. I just want to stress the purpose of office hours, because I think office hours are really underutilized resources in the class. And you really, any doubt, any question you might have, no matter how big, how small, or how, if you feel like it's a stupid question, oftentimes in office hours, it's really worthwhile asking any question, because oftentimes, it's other students who are too afraid to ask the questions who also come to office hours and are really grateful for when you ask whatever question. And so honestly, I really want to encourage every student to make use of office hours. Between the 3 GSIs and Professor Rodriguez-Clare, we have 8 hours of office hours, I believe. And so really that's quite a bit of resources available to you. And so really you should attend office hours to discuss any of the material covered in lecture sections or problem sets. And you're welcome to attend the office hours of any of us, regardless of which section you're technically registered for in Cal Central. So really, seriously, you do have up to 8 hours of office hours, so you really should come introduce yourselves. It's also nice to meet students, because obviously in this sort of online format, it's hard to get to know all of you. But I really do look forward to meeting all of you in office hours, and I hope you make use of that resource. Office hours are going to begin and end sharply at the above mentioned times. So if you have lengthy questions, please plan ahead and attend sufficiently early. So new for this semester, and something that I'm really excited about, is that we're going to try to host office hours, as I said, on Gather. And so what Gather is it's kind of if you've played Pokemon, it's kind of an app that's similar to that. And so it tries to emulate having a physical space with which you can gather with other students, have private conversations, but also sort of break out in groups, and also sort of talk with the GSIs like me, as you would normally. So we're going to try it out. It might not work. If not, some of the GSIs might switch back to holding office hours on Zoom. But for the start of the semester, we're going to try it. And we posted the Gather link, and you're welcome to use that Gather link outside of just our office hours. You can use it as an easy way to meet up with other students in the course to discuss course material. And so that's precisely why we're posting that link and making it available throughout the week. Although the only time the GSIs will attend is during our office hours. But the fact that we have this open means that you shouldn't use Gather or Piazza during exams. That's going to be cheating, and we're going to be watching both Gather and Piazza during exams to make sure that you're not asking questions during those times. So please, make use of it. We hope that this facilitates interaction between your classmates. Hopefully, it allows you to get to know them, because during this time, it's obviously a little harder to make friends in classes, and so hopefully this is sort of a more natural way of doing that. And I think most of us are well familiar with the sort of video game format of like Gather, so hopefully it should be intuitive to most of you. If you can't make any of the office hours listed, again, we have 8 hours of office hours, so I hope you can make at least one of our office hours, but just please email one of us. There are other options outside of just of a Piazza, office hours, email, and if that's not sufficient, it really should be. We feel that, you know, between Piazza, the finding classmates on Gather, office hours, and just emailing one of us, that should be sufficient resources for you in the class. But if not, there are tutoring programs that we've listed on the syllabus. But really, we feel as instructors that we're hopefully providing you enough resources and enough ways to meet other students, even in the course of a pandemic, where obviously it's harder to meet people in person. We hope that all of these resources are ways that you'll have enough resources just within the course. Just quickly, in email, one of the things that is nice to do is if you could please add plus C181 to each of our emails. That just helps us categorize student emails within our Google email. So that's really helpful. Also, if you could write C181 in the subject of any email you send us, that would be great. You know, we say on the syllabus that you should allow up to 2 working days for reply, but likely we'll get back to it quicker. But that comes with a caveat that you should just be mindful that if you send us an email like 30 minutes before the exam or even the night before, we might not get to it. So please plan ahead and send us an email with a little bit of due course. Some students already have sent us messages on B courses, but please don't send us messages on B courses. Sometimes I never receive a message about them. It's really weird. Other times I receive a message like a couple days later about them. So I don't respond to messages on B courses with any due timeliness. So please don't use the B courses messages function. Just email us instead. And if you have simple and short questions, feel free to use Piazza. You don't need to email us about those questions. One, I try to be pretty active in answering questions on Piazza for starters. But the other one is that your classmates are also a really good resource to answer questions. Sometimes, and I've found this already, your classmates have answered really thoughtfully and sometimes even better answers than I can come up with. So Piazza is great for answering short questions. I really encourage you to prioritize using Piazza for questions rather than emails. But if you have longer, more complicated questions that can't really be sort of written out quickly on Piazza, just make use of office hours. Regarding problem sets, I know there was a couple questions on problem sets, how they were graded and things like that came during class. And so I just wanted to speak to that a little bit. There's going to be 8 problem sets for the course. Each problem set must be submitted electronically on B courses to due date before midnight. You can take pictures of the assignment with your phone instead of typing it up in a Word document or as a LaTeX PDF. But please only submit one file as a PDF. And many websites and applications can help you take, you know, phone pictures and turn them into a PDF. Just Google it, and there's like 10. If you can't figure out one application to use, I'm happy to just send me an email. I'm happy to point you to one. But whatever you do, just ensure your submission's readable for both problem sets and exams. If I can't read it, then I can't grade it. And so I'm not going to grade illegible submissions. So just please try to ensure that we can read it before you do it. Because problem sets are posted oftentimes just with a couple days before the exam, and really problem sets are we really think that problem sets are a great way to be studying for the course. We like to post solutions only a couple of days after the problem sets. We'd like to post solutions right after the problem sets are due. And that's so that you can study with the solutions. And so oftentimes, you know, and a problem set will be due, we'll try to post the solutions immediately thereafter, and then an exam will come only a couple days after. So we don't really have any wiggle room to play around with late problem sets. So please submit them on time. If the due date is at midnight, and if you get it in at 12:05, that's okay. That's not really a big deal. But we can't accept the next day. We can't accept them. So once we post the problem sets solutions, we can't accept late problem sets. Each of the 8 problem sets is going to be graded on a binary basis, check or no check. So basically, all we're doing for grading is we're checking that students have submitted their problem sets on time and completed all or sort of the vast majority of the problems, and that's going to receive a check. Similarly, we are checking a little bit. It's not just totally completion. We are checking for accuracy too. I think the rough rule is that if you get, more than half of the answers right, you'll get a check. Basically, if you just sort of scribble in something, but it's totally incorrect, you're not going to get a check. But by and large, we're aiming that if you made a good faith effort at completing the problem set, you can expect to get a check. And then as solutions for each problem set are going to be posted, you're not going to get extensive feedback on your problem sets, but instead, we just expect you to compare your answers to the solutions. Sometimes, your solutions and your posted answers might differ from the solutions. And in those cases, sometimes it's okay. It's just a different way to do it. But if you're unclear about where and why your answers differ from the solutions, you're encouraged to come to office hours to discuss it with us. We're more than each of us is more than happy to discuss that with you. And then we're not going to accept regrades for problem sets because they're really graded on mostly on a completion basis. The regrade policy, if you just feel like we've made a grading mistake on an exam, please type out the specific mistakes that you feel exist in writing. And all regraded requests for exams must be submitted within a week. We're going to regrade every problem. Again, we take care in grading exams. So, we really take that seriously. And so if we regrade each problem, we have to be fair. So if we regrade yours and find that we've been sort of too lenient with certain students, we might actually regrade all students, and you actually might receive lower points than you were initially given. And that has happened historically in the past. So just regrades don't always get you more points, because we do generally try to take care to make sure that we're grading everyone fairly and making sure that all students who have similar answers are receiving the same number of points. I just wrote a little bit about mental well-being. Obviously, during these times, it's important to prioritize your own mental health. Doing things such as getting good sleep, getting regular exercise, eating healthy, making time for relaxation. And it's just important to note, especially during these times, that definitely you should realize that diminished mental health can interfere with optimal academic performance. If the source of such symptoms is strictly related to your coursework, feel free to talk with us about your challenges with coursework, and we can find ways to help you address those and to help address some of your anxiety related to the course material. However, if you have problems that are coming from other sources, all reasonable sources to have to have worries coming up from right now, such as relationships, family worries, anxiety related to COVID, things like that. I just strongly encourage you to reach out to counseling and psychological services at the Tang Center. If you feel that there's a need to do so, they offer free confidential psychological services. And I just want to emphasize that reaching out in difficult times is not a sign of weakness. It's a smart and courageous thing to do for yourself. So really, if you feel that you need such assistance, I strongly encourage you to reach out. Finally, just a bit of housekeeping. If you have a DSP letter, just please reach out to us early so we can help you make those accommodations. It's a lot easier to help you make accommodations right now than it is a day before the exam or a couple hours before the exam. So just please reach out early. And then just sort of general note keeping. You can see UC academic policies at the URL outlined below, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the honor code. So thank you for sticking with me on the syllabus. Hopefully that's addressed any of your potential lingering questions about the course and how sections are going to work. So yeah, looking forward to this semester. Thanks.